Right now, as you read these words, someone is thinking about you in ways they will never admit. Your silence already threatens them because it forces them to hear their own noise. Power begins where noise ends. Machiavelli knew that the loudest man in the room is often the most exposed target. Detachment is not coldness, it is calibrated warmth that never burns you. Silent power is the art of being present without being possessed. You learn to watch people like a clockmaker, watches moving gears. Every smile is a gear, every pause is a gear, every contradiction is a gear. The detached person sees the hidden spring that turns them all. You will not control others by force when you can let them control themselves in your direction. Detachment is the discipline of not leaning in until reality leans into you. You choose clarity over urgency and principle over performance. You train your face to be a calm lake so other people reveal themselves in their reflections. Machiavelli studied princes who were loved, feared, and betrayed, then asked which posture survives storms. He discovered the unsentimental posture of inward sovereignty. Silent power is sovereignty that needs no announcement. It is a throne you carry inside your chest. Detach from the need to be seen, and the world starts looking for you. Detach from the need to be understood, and your words begin to carry mystery. Detach from the need to be liked, and your presence becomes the test other people must pass. People call detachment cold because they mistake temperature for control. You are not icy, you are clear. Clear water reflects the sky without becoming the sky. When you detach, you stop begging for permission slips from people who are lost in their own weather. The Machiavellian mind does not punish feeling. It reassigns feeling to service. Emotions are loyal when they are led. They are rebellious when they are worshipped. Detachment appoints emotion as a minister, not a monarch. Your inner court must obey the crown of reason. Silence is your royal decree when words would sign away your leverage. You speak only when silence would cost you more than speech. You learn to time your speech like a surgeon chooses the scalpel. One sentence can do what 1,000 frantic arguments cannot. Your pauses become walls that other people climb for you. In the space created by detachment, people project their desires and fears. They show you the map of their hunger. The Machiavellian observer collects maps, not apologies. You stop answering questions that were asked to trap you in someone else's narrative. You begin to answer with direction instead of explanation. Explanation pleases crowds. Direction moves empires. Detachment reframes insults as free information about the insulter. It reframes praise as a possible invoice. It reframes urgency as someone else's failure to plan. Your quiet becomes an audit of motives. People reveal what they value when they cannot get a quick reaction from you. They open their hands to prove emptiness or to bargain with what they actually hold. The detached person does not chase. The detached person chooses. Choice is the true grammar of power. When you stop chasing, you stop paying hidden taxes in dignity, time, and attention. Attention is a currency that compounds. Silence is the interest rate. Detachment is the bank. You discover that almost every negotiation is two negotiations, the outer deal and the inner dignity. Machiavelli would advise you to win both or refuse both. You do not sell your center to buy a surface. Detached posture protects your core while you study the board. The board is never neutral. Someone set it. Someone benefits from its current shape. Detachment allows you to question the shape without being thrown off by the player's theatrics. You see that outrage is a lever. You see that pity is a lever. You see that guilt is a lever. You do not yank levers. You watch who installed them. The installer is the real power. Your silence flushes installers into view. They cannot stand a room where their levers fail. They will talk to fill the gap. And in talking, they gift you their blueprint. Blueprints are worth more than opinions. Opinions decorate. Blueprints build. You practice the discipline of delayed interpretation. You have no urgent need to define what just happened. You let events ripen until they confess their meaning. Most mistakes are made by people who cut fruit before it is sweet. Detachment teaches tongue patience. The bitter you avoided becomes the sweet you can use. You do not announce boundaries, you embody boundaries. You do not argue for your value, you charge for it. You do not debate your standards, you live them until compromise feels like treason. Machiavelli knew that men die for symbols as much as for food. Your detachment turns your standards into symbols. When your life is a banner, people sort themselves beneath it. Some will gather for shelter, some will shoot at it for sport. You do not argue with arrows. You raise the banner higher, so the cowards must aim in daylight. Detachment replaces panic with posture. It replaces gossip with geometry. It replaces impulse with interval. Intervals are sacred to power because they let you act at chosen temperatures. You master heat, cold, and the lukewarm ambush. Heat wins crowds, cold wins time. Lukewarm exposes manipulators who need extremes. In detachment, you develop the ear to hear motives behind music. The words say empathy, while the rhythm says control. The words say support, while the rhythm says dependency. The words say fairness, while the rhythm says tribute. You do not attack the singer, you choose the stage. He who chooses the stage chooses the song. Detachment chooses the stage where your strengths are native and their tricks are foreign. You never fight a water creature on water. You do not wrestle a shadow in the dark. You bring everything into your light, your schedule and your silence. You learn the elegance of waiting. Waiting is not inactivity. Waiting is the unseen part of movement. An arrow is most deadly in the stillness before release. Detachment is that stillness. Silent power is the bow that never trembles. Your enemies spend themselves on performances designed for your reaction that never arrives. They begin to fight ghosts. They invented to impress the gallery. You are not in the gallery. You are in the vault. In the vault, you count only what buys you more independence. You do not hoard attention. You hoard options. Options are weapons that do not stain your hands. The more options you own, the less pressure you feel to win any single contest. Pressure makes men noisy. Options make men quiet. Machiavelli's prince best survives because he prepares for betrayal without becoming its apprentice. Detachment is preparation without paranoia. You secure escape routes while greeting guests. You build bridges you might never cross. You keep promises you could break because integrity is a fortress, not a costume. The cost of quick victories is often long servitude. Detachment prefers slow victories that end servitude. You stop trading long peace for short applause. You outgrow the ambition to be endlessly seen. You cultivate the ambition to be endlessly sovereign. Sovereignty is the power to say no without explanation. It is the power to end conversations without guilt. It is the power to walk away with your center intact. The detached person does not punish with silence. They preserve the realm with it. Your calm is not punishment. It is policy. You learn to offer warmth without surrender. You learn to offer help without ownership. You learn to offer presence without performance. People feel safe around you because you are safe from yourself. You do not promise what your resentments will later invoice. You do not accept what your clarity cannot afford. Detachment gives you a ledger of energies. You spend on purpose. You save from drama. You invest in patience. Compounding patience is the richest secret of statecraft and self-craft. Every day you add a grain of skill to your craft and a grain of distance to your reactions. Grains become dunes that bury the petty and elevate the strategic. Your strategy becomes a climate. In your climate, temporary storms cannot dethrone the seasons. You think in seasons, not seconds. You decide with calendars, not comment sections. Machiavelli warns that fortune favors the prepared, but it also punishes the predictable. Detachment prevents you from becoming a script other people can rehearse. You change pace the moment they think they have your rhythm. You change tone the moment they think they have your language. You change gatekeepers the moment they think they own your door. Consistency lives at your core. Unpredictability lives at your edges. Both are loyal to your throne. You speak softly so your words cannot be spent against you. You do not leak dreams that others will counterfeit. You do not show wounds that others will inherit as weapons. Your privacy becomes the sanctuary where your future is negotiated. In that sanctuary, you test ideas without spectators. You refine tactics without critics. You fail without witnesses who would turn lessons into leverage. Detachment is the right to learn in peace. The world demands entertainment from your becoming. You refuse the demand. You become off stage and arrive on stage already formed. Arrival shocks those who mistook absence for weakness. Absence was the gym. Silence was the teacher. Clarity was the crown you forged when no one was applauding. Now your crown is quiet because it fits. Loose crowns rattle and beg for reassurance. Fitted crowns rest and radiate. Radiance draws allies without auditions. The right allies will not resent your boundaries. They will mirror them. Detachment discriminates wisely between companions and consumers. Consumers drain attention to feed identities that cannot feed themselves. Companions add oxygen to the fire without asking to own the flame. You choose companions whose respect is rooted in standards, not stories. Standards survive gossip. Stories dissolve in weather. Your standards are the weather. People adapt or evacuate. Evacuation is not tragedy. It is clarity. Silent power respects exit as a sacred ritual of order. You do not keep what keeps you from your throne. You do not cling to doors that close with honest noise. You do not mourn chapters that end because they saved you from books that never would. Detachment ends the romance with potential that never planned to become real. It ends treaties with versions of you that only existed to be liked. It ends treaties with fears that demanded rent in the currency of purpose. Machiavelli would remind you that appearances are tools, but identity is a state. You use appearances the way an architect uses scaffolding. You remove them once the structure can stand. Your structure is restraint, order, and chosen intensity. Chosen intensity is fire that answers to a calendar. Unchosen intensity is a wildfire that answers to a rumor. You are not built for rumors. You are built for seasons, schedules, and sovereign storms. You do not confuse momentum with meaning. You let meaning choose which momentum is allowed to keep moving. By detaching, you build a private court of inner advisors who never flatter. Discipline speaks first. Patience speaks second. Perspective speaks third. Ego speaks last, and only under oath. When ego testifies, you examine it with cross-questions about cost and consequence. You leave the courtroom with a verdict that protects your realm. Your realm is your time. Your realm is your attention. Your realm is your capacity to say no to beautiful distractions. Beautiful distractions are the enemy's most polite siege engines. Detachment recognizes velvet catapults. You smile, then you reinforce the wall. You do not throw stones from the wall. You cultivate gardens inside it. Gardens feed your war without making your war your food. Silent power keeps abundance private, so gratitude can remain sacred. You are grateful without performing gratitude to recruit praise. You are honored without turning honor into spectacle. You are strong without rehearsing your strength for weaker minds. The detached do not audition for roles inside their own life. They write the script and cast accordingly. If you must earn your oxygen around someone, you are inside a trap. Detachment refuses traps disguised as tests. You stop performing competence for judges who sell their verdicts for attention. You perform competence for the work, and the work alone. Work is a lover that rewards silence. Work deepens when it is fed with undistracted mornings and unapologetic nights. The world sees the fruit and calls it talent. You know it is sovereignty layered in hours no one will ever congratulate. Machiavelli's dark psychology is not cruelty. It is candor about human nature without anesthesia. He teaches you to accept that envy is the tax on elevation. He teaches you to accept that loyalty is rented by character and foreclosed by convenience. He teaches you to accept that most negotiations begin where illusions end. Detachment ends the illusion first, inside you, without a press release. You stop promising what history cannot deliver. You stop expecting from people what their pattern has never paid. You stop betting your sanity on maybes dressed in costumes of certainty. Your certainties become fewer and stronger. You carry them lightly because they are welded, not painted. Welded certainties survive friction. Painted certainties peel when touched. Detachment prefers steel to varnish. You choose substance that ages well over status that ages loudly. Aging loudly is the hobby of insecure empires. Aging well is the craft of quiet kings. Silent power is the crown that does not clatter on stone. It rests on purpose and sits through storms. You will be accused of arrogance when you detach. Understand the accusation as projection from those who fear sovereignty. You will be accused of being difficult when you have standards. Understand the accusation as grief from those who profited from your lack of them. You will be accused of being mysterious when you stop oversharing. Understand the accusation as hunger from those who fed on your transparency. Let them hunger while you harvest. Let them talk while you build. Let them speculate while you schedule. You will be called cold until they feel the warmth of results. Results have a temperature that critics cannot regulate. Do not waste detachment trying to convert them. Convert your hours into mastery instead. Convert your boundaries into architecture instead. Convert your silence into strategy instead. The world respects finished buildings more than it respects construction sites with speeches. Be the building. Let your windows be few and your foundations deep. Let your doors open by invitation and close without apology. Let your rooftop hold gardens where your mind can walk without guards. From that roof, you will see crowds moving like weather patterns. You will not curse the rain. You will read it. You will not fear the wind. You will sail it. You will not worship the sun. You will schedule it. Detachment is not escape from life. It is entrance into authority. You do not disappear from love. You appear to it whole. You do not disappear from service. You serve without becoming a menu. You do not disappear from ambition. You aim with breath that never begs. Breath becomes your metronome. Each inhale is a contract with patience. Each exhale is a signature of release. Release is the twin of detachment and the guardian of peace. You release what clings, grips, and clutches until your hands remember how to build. You release old scripts that taught you to audition for safety. You release the habit of saving people from lessons they pay to repeat. You release versions of yourself who kept diaries for judges. Only then can you author chapters for kings. Kingship in this sense is not domination, it is dominion over self. Self-dominion is the one empire that cannot be invaded. Silent power is the one army that cannot be mapped. Detachment is the one fortress that expands by boundary instead of by theft. You are not here to conquer, you are here to calibrate. Calibrate your time to long arcs. Calibrate your goals to daily guarantees. Calibrate your alliances to shared standards, not shared enemies. Calibrate your speech to necessity and your listening to excess. Listen more than your pride enjoys. Speak less than your fear demands. Act slower than your anxiety suggests. Move sooner than your comfort grants. This is the arithmetic of silent power. This is the geometry of detachment. This is the music of a mind that cannot be purchased by applause or panic. When the noise outside spikes, the silence inside expands. When the market of opinions roars, your ledger of principles steadies. When betrayal arrives dressed as a miracle, you read the fabric and not the shine. Machiavelli would nod because you have learned the old secret. The secret is not to become unfeeling. The secret is to become unowned. No one owns you who cannot fund your peace. No one rents you who cannot afford your values. You carry yourself like a contract that cannot be rewritten without your pen. Pen in hand, you sign only what your future can cash. You refuse overdrafts of soul. You refuse mortgages on identity. You refuse loans against purpose at predatory interest. You remain liquid in attention and rich in boundaries. Your treasury is time well placed. Your currency is focus unspilled. Your interest is compounded detachment. Now walk like your silence has weight. Walk like your detachment has warmth. Walk like your power can whisper and still be heard. Then do the rarest thing in an age of spectacles. Stay steady when praised. Stay steady when blamed. Stay steady when ignored. Steadiness is the throne room of silent power. From that throne, choose carefully, speak briefly, and build endlessly. And when they ask why you are so quiet, smile with the knowledge Machiavelli reserved for the few. You do not shout because the crown fits. You do not chase because the gate opens. You do not explain because your life explains for you. This is the dark psychology of detachment. This is the light it protects. This is the silent power that makes noise kneel. And this is where you choose to live.